The Russians are taking measures to avoid such successful operations of the security service of Ukraine as spider web, when 41 enemy strategic aircraft were hit. As UNIAN correspondent reports, the head of the SBU Vasyl Malyuk told journalists about this. First, about the consequences of Operation Spider Web, and what exactly the Russians are doing to avoid further attacks. I will start with the fact that we never repeat ourselves. They do take certain measures to avoid successful operations of this kind, but we do not repeat ourselves, he noted. According to Maluk, during the next missile and drone attacks, the Russians are indeed working with a smaller number of aircraft. He also emphasized that the occupiers were forced to move their strategic aircraft to the easternmost point, this is the Ukrainka airfield, and now they need to cover a very large distance to get closer to the territory of Ukraine, to the launch sites. This is not profitable for them and, in fact, is unacceptable in their work. Moreover, this accelerates the wear of certain parts of these aircraft and they quickly lose their corresponding engine life. Therefore, this is truly confirming data, the head of the SBU emphasized. He also commented on President Volodymyr Zelensky's words that, we are preparing a force, on the ground, in the air and at sea, that, simply by working according to plan, will put pressure on Russia to stop the war. What the president said about what we are planning in the air, at sea, and on land, of course, we are implementing and planning for the near future, and for certain strategic plans and operational plans, but this is not the kind of data that we can share with the general public, said Malyuk. As reported, construction of protective structures began at some Russian air bases after the Ukrainian Operation Web, which was carried out on June 1st. For example, according to Frontelligence Insight, satellite images from July 7 showed that Russian forces had built about 10 fortified earth-covered bunkers, 12 concrete bunker-type structures without earth covering, and 8 hangar-style buildings at the Kalino Air Base in the Kursk region. Satellite images of Kalino Air Base from Planet Labs, dated June 27, also show fortified hangars. In addition, according to Frontelligence and Planet Labs images, the Russians have built 2 concrete bunkers at Saki Air Base in occupied Crimea. The Ukrainian armed forces have discovered and struck an area where military equipment was gathered in the Belgorod region of Russia, hangars where military trucks were stored, as well as an infantry armored fighting vehicle and a cannon. As a result of precise strikes by kamikaze drones, several hangars, along with equipment and trucks located in the open air, were exploded and destroyed. It should be noted that the Ukrainian army regularly carries out drone and air strikes on military facilities in Russian border areas.
Ukraine's Defense Intelligence, HUR, released footage showing a special operations raid in the Black Sea that destroyed Russian equipment, personnel, and a patrol boat The mission was carried out in August 2025 by the HUR's Department of Active Operations, whose teams used FPV drones and other strike UAVs to hit multiple Russian targets at sea and along the coast. According to the footage and HUR's statement, the raid eliminated a BL-680 high-speed assault boat, a Harpoon-B radar station, a Groza electronic warfare system. The strike teams also torched 4 Russian antenna feeder systems and inflicted unspecified personnel losses. The destroyed BL-680 is a multi-purpose rigid inflatable boat originally designed for Russia's Navy. Capable of carrying 8 troops, it can be used for amphibious landings, patrols, and logistical support, says United 24 Media. The Harpoon-B radar is a sophisticated long-range surveillance system designed to detect and classify aerial and surface targets, including low-flying aircraft and incoming threats, while resisting electronic countermeasures. Its combination of active and passive radar channels allows Russia to feed targeting data to missile systems beyond the horizon. The Groza system, meanwhile, is one of Russia's most widely deployed electronic warfare tools, built to detect, jam, and disable the guidance and control links of Ukrainian drones. Multiple versions of the Groza are fielded across Russia's front lines to protect equipment, trenches, and static positions. Earlier, for the first time in history, a military ship was successfully struck using an FPV drone. The attack was carried out by the Ukrainian Military Intelligence Unit HUR, utilizing the skills of the Special Operations Forces. The strike, which took place at a distance of over 350 kilometers, demonstrates the precise capabilities of Ukrainian drones. Recently, Ukrainian special forces executed a daring amphibious landing on one of Russia's most exposed positions in Ukraine. Taking out patrols and destroying critical equipment, this raid has now opened the door to a wide variety of naval, aerial, and further special forces operations across the Black Sea and the Crimean Peninsula. Operatives moved across the Black Sea in rubber boats, mounted with radars, electronic warfare systems, and machine guns similar to boats used by NATO's naval special forces teams. Their mission: destroying a Russian Rosa radar system and the Zont electronic warfare station protecting it. However, these emplacements are incredibly vulnerable, as they are only connected to the mainland through narrow strips of land, or not at all, forcing Russians to use boats to supply these exposed outposts. Ukrainians exploited this masterfully,